5 whiskies for life. 5 whiskies that I am willing to drink every day for the rest of my life. Well, I think it is quite an easy exercise if you don't take budget in consideration and you have loads of money. Then I think this is going to be an easy one. Pick all the big names, the big high ABV whiskies, the expensive whiskies, the old age statement whiskies. Quite an easy exercise. If you then decide to only buy whiskies that you can afford, well, then it's not so easy. I have done 848 videos in the last 4 years, and this journey of discovery amazes me every time that I buy a new bottle of whiskey. I am amazed at that lovely flavors that they get out of the same ingredients that everybody else is using by just tweaking with the cask and a little sherry, a little bit of Pedro Ximénez, a little bit of oak. That makes a huge difference. So every time that I open up a bottle, I think this is it. This is the best whiskey that I've tasted in a long time. It is a journey. It is a discovery, and finding that next little golden nugget in a bottle, that is what whiskey is all about. In my videos, you will find whiskies that are cheap, 19, 15 euros a bottle, and going up to, I think, 300-400 euros a bottle. So everything in between, from the end of the month whiskey and maybe from the payday whiskey. So everything in between, I do not discriminate. Welcome to the Whiskey Lovers Society with me, Gert Retief, and tonight I am going to talk about that 5 whiskies that I really enjoy. And of course, at the end of the video, if you like my content, please remember to like, share and subscribe. I was also given a little bit of a challenge by my wife, telling me there's no way that you can reach 3,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Well, I need to prove her wrong. So if you like the content, please remember to like, share and subscribe. So for this video, I am going to start my list of 5 whiskies, and I'm going to start with peated whiskies. Now, this was quite a difficult chapter for me, a difficult choice for me. As you know, for people that are subscribing to my channel, I am not really a huge fan of peated whiskies. So I brought some of my whiskies out from the basement. I brought some from what I have here, and I had a look at peated whiskies. And my biggest nemesis, and I have it here, is well, I think a lot of people would know. The biggest nemesis that I had all of these years is this one, the Laphroaig 10 years old. My first experience was quite some time ago. Was not a big fan of it. I was still developing the palate for peat. And the 10-year-old, as well as the Ardbeg 10-year-old, has got it here somewhere, the Wee Beastie. So I do have quite a number of them as well. The Ardbeg 10 was my first real experience with peated whiskies, and that was just a horrible experience. But then again, I discovered the Laphroaig. So many of my subscribers said, go back to Laphroaig, go try it. I did. As you can see, I'm not doing too bad on this one. But then a little bit later, I also told myself, try a little bit something different. And then I bought myself, of course, the Laphroaig. 10 years old, sherry oak finish, and nice 48% ABV. And then my mind clicked a little bit, the changes came in a little bit, and I realized that actually, if you add a little sweetness to that peated whiskies, that smoky whiskies, it does make a difference for me, and the harshness seems to go away a little bit. But I also can, as an example, not the ones yet that I'm going to pick, This one was also one of the first ones that I bought, Benriach. This is the Curiositas peated whiskey, 10 years old as well, 46% ABV. Also makes a difference. A little higher ABV is good. Somebody also told me you have to look at Bowmore. And of course, that was the first Bowmore that I ever bought. Also, well, only 40% ABV. But when I discovered the 18-year-old, and I think the 18-year-old is so much better for me. The one that I also can recommend, if you don't like my eventual suggestion, this one. This is the Loch Lomond. This is a single grain peated whiskey, floral and smoky. Definitely something that I would recommend if you want a nice light type of smoke and not something that is just too much in your face. Another option, Lejeune, 10 years old. Quite a lovely light smoky whiskey, and I do appreciate that 46.3% ABV. But I have to then pick the one that I really enjoyed, and I think a lot of people will know what I'm talking about. I just released a video on it a couple of days ago, and of course this is the Ardnagh. This is the inaugural release, 5-year-old single malt Islay Scotch whiskey, bottled at a 50% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. Now, that is my pick number one. It is absolutely fantastic. I did share a dram with some colleagues, and they all said, well, this is really nice. It's got a perfect peat, it's got a perfect smokiness to it, it's got a perfect sweetness to it, and it's just ticking all the right boxes for me. Oloroso Sherry, ex-bourbon cask, you cannot go wrong. So if I have to drink peated whiskey for the rest of my life, definitely Ardnagh is the pick for me. The next whiskey on my list of something that I will drink, well, the rest of my life. And this is my whiskey of the year of 2024. And I'm talking about Knock and Do. This is a 21-year-old whiskey. And of course, you have to have a little bit of an age statement whiskey. The reason that I picked this one, it is relatively cheap compared to any other 21-year-old whiskey. It is a single malt Scotch whiskey. It was bottled at 43% ABV. This was distilled in 1994, and I can tell you, it just gets better every time that I go back. The lovely sweetness that comes out, it's at a perfect level. You don't have to add anything. I try to only drink this at a special occasion. I don't want this bottle to end. It's going to be difficult. I'm not sure if you're even going to get this bottle anymore. Probably sold out, maybe on the secondary market, but definitely a whiskey that I really enjoy. I would drink this gladly for the rest of my life. Now, the next bottle that I picked was a little bit of a difficult choice. Now, I do love a sherry monster, and I was looking at Aberlour, A'bunadh. Oh my word, it is lovely. I love that high ABV. I like that shock to the system. I like that 60, 58, 60 odd percent ABV whiskey. That is what I really enjoy. I have control over it. If I want to add water, I add a couple of drops. If I want to add more, it's up to me to add a little bit more water or no water at all. So you have a nice control on how you're going to drink this whiskey. So the Aberlour was definitely on my list, and it was on my list for quite some time. But when I discovered the Glenfarclas 105 sherry cask, 16-year-old monster of a whiskey, and it is absolutely the one that I need in my life. The one that I say, sherry monster, get yourself that Glenfarclas 105. So definitely something that's on my list, and I think it will stay on my list for quite some time. Well, maybe until the next Sherry Monster arrives. But let me know in the comment if you tried that 105 16-year-old. What did you think? Is that also the Sherry Monster that you love? The next one on my list, you have to have a Springbank, and of course you have to have some real deep pockets to buy some of them. Sometimes it's a little bit crazy, ridiculous, stupid. Well, my pocket says I can only afford the 10-year-old. I did buy the 10-year-old, and bottle 46% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered, ticking all the real boxes for me, and it is nice. It's comfortable, it's friendly, it's drinkable, with a hint of a peat in it. So definitely a whiskey that I can tell you. But then sometimes you walk into a pub or you get a little bit of a sample somewhere, and somebody gives you a sample of the Springbank 12-year-old batch 24 bottled at 54.1% ABV. Oh my word, when you realize to yourself, maybe you should invest in that one. And I love it. It was absolutely a fantastic whiskey. All of those high cask strength whiskies from Springbank, all of the different sherry casks, the Pablo Cortado, all of them for me was just like, this is it. This is what I need for life. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and make a suggestion for me anyway. If I want to drink something for life, that would definitely be the one for me. A nice Springbank cask strength whiskey. And the last one on my list, and I know I have a bottle somewhere. I'm not sure if it's here or in the basement. I looked all over, cannot find it. Erdnammergen AD 1022. And really, this is one of those light, friendly whiskies that apple orchards, pears, light notes, summer in the glass whiskey. That is the whiskey that I like to enjoy on a daily basis. If you take out that bottle after a long day at the office, you come home, sometimes you don't want complex. You don't want all of those, wait for 20 minutes after you open the bottle. You pour it, you sit back and you just relax, sip on it, and it's not going to break the bank either. So the whiskey for me, it's really a comfortable whiskey, that comfort place, a whiskey that I really enjoy. I enjoy sharing it, and I might have shared it maybe a little bit too much that I don't realize it's finished, but that is definitely a whiskey that I would enjoy. So that, my dear friends, is the 5 whiskies that I would drink for life. Well, only for this month. Probably by the next month, I will find something that's even better. And that is the journey of whiskey. There's always something better on the horizon. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. And let's prove my wife wrong. Get to that 3,000 subscribers at least before the end of the year. So thank you very much for watching, and I see you next time. Cheers.